For the past 2 weeks, we've been making a game entirely based off of your comments. Hundreds of them. And somehow, it's actually working. This is Your Move, a game shaped by your ideas. And us, of course. My name is Mason, this is Andrew, and we make video games.
For anyone new here, Your Move is coming out on November 21st, whether the game is ready or not. We gave ourselves just 60 days to make it, and the wild thing is, we still don't even know what the game fully is yet. 2 weeks ago, me and Mason opened a brand new Unreal Engine project, having no clue what we were about to make. Adding hundreds of comments into a game and making something good is so difficult. Where do you even start? I figured the best place to start is just with the basics and build up from there. So I started with a simple main menu and added some multiplayer, and it turned out pretty good. Then I fell down the rabbit hole of trying to add controller support. 12 hours later, it's still not complete, and I realized at that point, no one even commented that. So I hit pause on the main menu and just added a credits page instead. Now we can finally add our first community comment into the game. The first comment we added was this comment from Enderman Dusty, no pun intended. It just felt right that the first comment should set the whole tone and mood for the game, and Dusty's comment just felt right, you know? Most of the first week was spent just setting everything up, like getting the servers up, the main menu, and just getting the project ready for gameplay. When week 2 finally rolled around, I decided to tackle another comment. The Big Tommy 13 suggested adding proximity voice chat, and that kicked off the worst 3 days of my life. As it turns out, the amazing main menu I made earlier was hogging the in-game microphone through the server system. It worked great for main menus, but not for proximity chat. So 2 days ago, I had to restart the entire project just to make Tommy's comment possible. I'm back to square one now. I rebuilt the main menu, switched everything to Steam servers, got multiplayer running again, then I added proximity chat, and hearing Mason's voice in game for the first time made me so happy. Is that Mason? Hello? Hey! Oh my god, it's so loud. It's so loud. I gotta leave. Alt F4.
The first thing I worked on was the Steam page. Wishlists are very important for indie games because it helps people get notified when your game releases, and it also just pushes it out to a wider audience. With that in mind, I knew getting a Steam page up as soon as possible was my #1 priority. The only problem, making a Steam page for a game that doesn't even exist yet is a bit tricky. Steam did not like it either. Luckily, Oogie's comment solved this entire problem. Pause the video and read it if you want, but this is an entire whole game in itself. It's huge. But for now, Andrew and I are gonna only take 2 tiny parts from it. A cozy cabin in the woods. Seems simple enough. So I spent the next few days figuring out the art direction and modeling up a few different models, like some trees, rocks, and a cozy cabin. Once that was coming along, I decided to throw it into the game and get a few quick screenshots for the Steam page, because that still needed to get up, and I was honestly kind of stressing about it. But as I was looking at the screenshots and the assets that I made, something still didn't feel right. A lot of comments, including Oogie's, mentioned adding some scary elements. Like, he even mentioned before a storm hits, or a few of you, like Maku and Jonah Jameson, mentioned monsters. Andrew and I love this idea, and we want to make a scary game because we haven't done that yet. And with voice chat and everything in already, we're like, this is the perfect chance. With that in mind, I needed to make this forest a lot scarier. So I went back to work and basically started from scratch. Let's try this again. I kept the rocks and grass from the previous attempt, but this time removed all of the trees and made them way more detailed. I also added variety through the forest in making dead trees, some flowers, some stones, and some bushes just to fill up the forest. Then I found a weather plugin, and once we added it, the whole forest got even spookier. Which brings me to Mr. Speezer's comment, which is add a spooky cabin. So I did. I broke down the original cabin I made and made it a little bit more spookier by roughening up the edges and honestly just destroying it. I think this looks a lot better, and something about this just screams like this is a key part of the gameplay loop. I just don't know what yet. The last comment I added before handing it all over to Andrew was a comment from Blue Relight. They said to add a day and night cycle. Lucky for me, the plugin I already had a day and night cycle built in, so that made things pretty easy. I think this environment is coming along really well, but if you have any suggestions, leave them below.
Once Mason handed over the beautiful visuals he'd been working on, I could finally work on the next comment. I'm Half Scribbled suggested turning the home screen into a cozy cabin, so I dropped Mason's assets in, and honestly, it turned out incredible. With only a few hours left before we had to start working on this video, I wanted to add just one more comment. GoldYT23 suggested adding a subscribe button to the game, so I did. And feel free to click it whenever you want. Starting a project is always the hardest part, but now that we've got things rolling, we can't wait to add more of your guys' ideas. And don't worry, if your comment wasn't added, we could always add it in the future, so stay tuned.
Right now, Andrew and I still have no idea what's next for this game. We keep asking ourselves every day questions like, who do you play as? How do you win? What's the music like? What's the actual gameplay loop here? The truth is, we don't know yet, because that's your move. So leave as many ideas as you want in the comments. Who knows, maybe you can even end up in the game multiple times. And if you want to play your move when it releases on November 21st, make sure to add it to your wish list on Steam. Link in the description. Anyways, I gotta go edit this video and get back to adding more of your guys' comments. Later.